Thursday, December the 2nd, 2021, and once again I'm doing a North Herts Ramblers group walk, this one number 141, which is their Great Offley Circular. I'm actually starting it at Charlton, small hamlet here just outside Hitchin, my hometown, and this used to be the Windmill pub. It could well be the Windmill pub again in the not too distant, because as you can see there are works being undertaken. A private developer took it over, and now there's attempts to make it a community pub. So let's see what pans out there. It's a cracking day, very cold mind you, blue sky, bit of a breeze as well, so there might be some interference on commentary. About 12:20, so again I'm doing a 10 miler today, up against the clock, 4 hours walking I should say, and sunset 5 to 4 today. So let's get cracking. And immediately opposite the Fountain pub you come across this blue plaque, which is essentially Hitchin's claim to fame. So Henry Bessemer was born here. The property is known as Charlton House. So opposite Spring Cottage behind me, you come off the lane and now walk up what becomes a byway, I believe. Windmill Lane, lots of association with the mill here. Get a bit of an idea of the landscape on my left here, pretty much at the end of the Chiltern Ridge. We're near Luton Airport again, so expect some noise. Walking along this pleasant hazel bordered, by the looks of it, hazel and is it elm or lime? Can never tell. It's probably lime. Anyway, very pleasant, albeit you can hear the busy A505 to my right, goes to Luton. So at the end of the bridleway, come out into open field country, spoilt only by the transmission lines in this area. So at this juncture here, cross paths, exactly 1 mile in, we continue straight ahead, where we come into big field country again, recently ploughed, but luckily our onward journeys along the edge on a grassy path, and this is partly why there's no hedges left. Modern industrial machinery here, not sure what they're planting, but there's a lot of machines about. An ad in our local paper last week was offering a yield of £27, I believe, per tonne to grow sugar beet, which is an excellent crop. British Sugar are absolutely crying out for fields, and it gives the opportunity to overgrow that in the winter, and then obviously in the spring plant something else, like cereals I believe. So I don't know why more farmers around here aren't taking up that offer. More nature friendly for sure. I've noticed several hares today getting disturbed by the machinery. Passing the base of Minsbury Hill here on my right. I'm walking in an anti-clockwise direction today, by the way, for lunch hopefully at Ley Green, where there isn't a church, unfortunately. Funny enough, that looks like a harvest of beets over there. I hope that's what it is, and not earth, as here on my right. Onward journeys up this hill, which I have recorded previously on a Saturday Walkers Club walk, probably the Hitchin Circular. So about 514 foot up here, looking back over Hitchin. Yeah, and you can just make out the church there in the distance. Windmill Hill behind it. Yeah, there's a church. St Mary's. That other brown building, I believe, is the telephone exchange that was. More new houses have popped up here since I was last on this path. On my left, opposite the Red Lion, which we'll be passing in a minute. I'm on FP14 at the moment. So here we are, 2.6 miles into the walk at Great Offley. Name of this church escapes me. I have recorded it before. It's locked as well, but comes too early in the walk for lunch, and as I say, there isn't then another one until King's Walden, I think, and that's too far into the walk. So I'm going to have to take my chances with a seat that I know of in Ley Green. Sign of the times, eh? And ahead of me here is the Red Lion, just mentioned a few minutes ago, which is very popular, as you can see. Does a good price meal for the retirees. So as I think you can just about see, I've just come off the Charlton Way extension. And I didn't realise that there's now a village shop here at the Red Lion. Must be another community effort, I would guess. No opening hours are visible, but I don't know how it works, but a good idea. Now I wonder if that pub sign, which hopefully you can make out there, the plough, I wonder if that's come from Ley Green, which is where I'm headed, because there certainly was one there. So as I said earlier, passing this new housing development, Rookery End, and good to see plenty of solar panels in use in the right places, i.e. not taking up land. And this particular infill development doesn't really annoy me, because it's not eating into the green belt really. It was a bit of scrap land on the edge of the village anyway, so good use of a bit of brownfield really. Okay, at this juncture, walking straight on would take you past the Model Aircraft Club, down Chalk Hill back into Hitchin. We're turning right here, following a bridleway along this hedge. Decent views. Certainly a lot of these turnip type things, whatever they are, Mangolds, I've got no idea. A lot of them around. There are actually some small planes being flown to my left. No jet noise from Luton yet. I think it's because of the northwesterly wind today, so that's beneficial. I have seen some jets but not heard them, so I can't complain. Some kind of lark or pipit flocks have flown up out of this field here. It's good to see. This is exactly what I mean about overwintering, you know. Seeds from the cut, some have fallen into the stubble here, and the birds will find them, eat them on cold days like today. There's actually ice on the puddles, very thin veneer. Just past the commercial farm that is Offley over there, and those diggers I saw earlier, tractors etc., will have come from there. Their estate is quite widespread up this way, touching Hitchin. Just approaching West Wood on my left, which we'll be walking alongside here. You can just make out the wind farm over at Biggleswade, I do believe. So that shows how high up we are here. View over the plain. And I do recall this field aside Westwood containing cattle in season. Decent Charlton views. There you go, the old pheasant shooting. Smaller field sizes here with good service trees around the edges. Good to see. All this land, by the way, is managed by Pilkingtons, the glass people, triple glazing fame. Now I'm on restricted byway 36 here, with footpath 27 just off to the left and right. We continue straight on towards Ostage End. So there you go, first bit of jet noise now, and the wind's dropped. Interesting. Most of the tree cover's fallen now, but the hardy oak still holds out a little bit. Very pleasant now in the December sun. Where has the year gone, eh? December already. And we're still in a mess. Little bit of quiet lane walking now after Ostage End hamlet, which is basically a few houses. Come off the lane here, taking this footpath downhill towards Ley Green. Pleasant enough views here on my right. Coming into Ley Green, which is not much more than a hamlet. So here's today's lunch stop, 4.5 mile into the walk, and Ley Green here. And just as well I remembered this from my cycle rides last year. Always caught my eye as a potential stopping point, because as I say, there's no church here. No dedication on this bench either, just happens to be roadside. Thankfully quiet road. And our onward journey is immediately opposite. So good position. Lunch is served. Okay, 20 to 3. Lunch has been had. Now following this finger post to Frogmore, of which these cottages are typical of the estate. Now looks like we're following the Kings Walden Parish Council parish path. And unbeknownst to me, there's actually picnic tables in here and a bin. So there you go, for future reference. So there you have it. No cattle there at the moment, thankfully. So there is the pub I mentioned earlier, the Plough, and that looks like a new sign. So that's interesting. Doesn't look like it's in business at the moment though. Difficult to tell. This would be another cattle field. So there's 3 cattle fields before you, or whilst in Ley Green. Kings Walden is known for its dairy herd, or was. Not sure what the situation is these days, probably just beef. Passing Parsonage Farm on my right. Got some lovely colours over there. As another jet comes into Luton. Now joining Kings Walden Byway 45, boat open to all traffic, and a very pleasant tree tunnel it is. Magpie agrees. Good to see lots of new service trees being planted here, and they're all oaks again. Wonderful. It's about 3 degrees now, pretty nippy. Big field country again. Winter wheat, scandalous really, I think. Now following the Chiltern Society's Chiltern Way Byway into Preston. And this lane is intriguingly known as Dead Woman's Lane. So research that on Google if you wish to learn more. I don't know the answer. Might take a left here off Dead Woman's Lane. And as you can see, we've now acquired Tapmore Hills Loop. Well, interestingly, that's the first style I've seen today, and it's redundant now anyway. But it looks like Herts have done a pretty good job on making these walks style free over the last decade or so. Fair play. Still on footpath 5. Half an hour till sundown. Just passing Pond Farm there on my left. And in the yard of that barn there was a whacking great big bull. Gate was open, he could have done what he wanted. But he decided to stay put, thankfully. My God, that shouldn't be allowed. Well, no, it isn't allowed. Good bit of advertising just as we approach the fringes of Preston. I think this is Butcher's Lane. Right, here we go. Notice of another possible development. There's the details. 21 dwellings. Whether it'll mean a diversion, I don't know. Let's see. Those houses over there look quite new, so it could well be on this piece of land here, behind this green fence, which would be an infill. So it's not a further encroachment into the green belt, I guess. Passing through a small recreation area that I didn't know was here, to be honest with you. Got seats in it as well. Still on the Tapmore Hills Trail as we approach Wain Wood, another big wood in the area. And over there on my left is where relatives of mine used to live, Castle Farm. Very cold, bleak house that was. I remember as a child. My uncle's father was a cowhand there. Wain Wood has connections with John Bunyan down there. There's a cottage called Bunions Cottage, if I recall. Nice bluebell wood in season. Information panel here about Wain Wood, and it's actually called Bunyan's Dell, so he must have preached there. Final section of woodland walking here, which is a fine mixed woodland of Scots pine and beech, and of course oaks. Very Chiltern-esque here, wonderful. Some lovely colours over there. You usually get herds of deer around here, but I haven't seen any today. Must be the cool temperature keeping them in the woods, I guess. As you can see, the sun has almost gone. 5 minutes of daylight left, or sunlight left. About 20 more minutes of walking time left. Yeah, should be alright. There's certainly evidence of deer there. Either that or it's a devil. Stevenage, that's Glaxo, I believe. Over there on my right. About 460 foot high here. And at this juncture we're at Tapmore Hills of the trail name, about to descend now towards Gosmore. Some very seasonal holly berries there, wonderful, eh? Not much mistletoe around at the moment, in this area at least, but that's lovely to see. Don't see much of that. Over in the distance there, you can just make out the machinery that I saw earlier today, because that's that tree line is the path I was on earlier this afternoon. And there's the transmission run. Okay, at this finger post, the GPX track goes over there towards Maidencroft. I was in two minds because of falling daylight, or failing daylight, to continue straight on and get into Charlton that way. Not a lot in it, but I've got about 20 minutes walking time. Questionable whether I would, and I know that route anyway. It's down Maidencroft Lane, sorry, Brickkiln Lane. So what I'm going to do is continue straight on. It's about 300 or 400 metres or yards, sorry, shorter the way I'm going to do it. So we're not missing much. Just loads of horses in a field really. Having mentioned sugar beet earlier, I wonder if that's what this is. Certainly a beet type plant at the base of it. If I was a farmer in this area, I'd certainly be looking into British Sugar's offer, because this field used to be, from memory, given over to cereals, if I recall. It'll be interesting to follow this field's development, because I don't live far from it. See what happens in the spring, that'll tell me. So upon reaching Brickkiln Lane here, take a left down towards Charlton. Wonderful, eh? Dusk again, love it. Now I guess the name gives it away really, Brickkiln Lane. And I'm pretty sure as a boy we used to, when we first got a car, we used to be able to drive down this lane. I remember coming to the fountain, the Windmill pub. But as you can see, access is blocked now. On my right here is the rare pigs breed farm. There you go, Charlton Hill Piggery. Different breeds, Mangalitsa, British Lop, Sandy and Black. And I don't know if that's the Palace. I wonder if that's a little cafe in season. I have to check that out in the future as well. Okay, so here we are, 4:15. 3 hours 26, 9.5 miles later, I made it anyway. And that was a very decent walk. Surprised me actually. Very good quality to the South West of Hitchin, some of which I had not done before. So yeah, very happy with that. Weather made it though. It was outstanding weather. Very cold though. That northwesterly died down halfway through the walk, which was good. But yeah, fantastic walk. And here, this river is the beginning of the River Hiss. The wellhead is a couple of 100 yards up the road actually. So this is where it all starts, the River Hiss, which then flows into the Ouse eventually up towards Bedford, and so on into the Wash. So, till the next time, hopefully there will be a next time. As Dave Allen used to say, may your God go with you. Take care. And that wren agrees.